In May of 2023, Title 42, the public health order invoked during the COVID-19 pandemic, which restricted migrants from entering or residing in the United States before an immigration court hearing under the guise of preventing further spread of the disease, had expired. This resulted in a massive backwave of migrants from across the globe looking to escape a mix of poverty and persecution in their homelands, arriving at the United States at multiple points of entry, but particularly at the southern border. As hundreds of thousands of people continued to amass and cross the southern border, many small towns and communities along it were overwhelmed by the humanitarian crisis and issues this created within these border states. In reaction to this, Republican governors Greg Abbott of Texas and Ron DeSantis of Florida decided to begin busing undocumented migrants to Democratic Party-led sanctuary cities such as Boston, Washington, D.C., and in particular New York City, which they blame primarily for this crisis. In response, the city's government announced the opening of several humanitarian emergency response and relief centers, known more commonly as migrant shelters, in order to accommodate the city's new asylum-seeking inhabitants. Due to New York City's unique and decades-long-standing right to shelter law, any person within the city limits, regardless of residency, income, or citizenship status, is entitled to city-provided shelter and food upon request for periods of time between 30 and 60 days, depending on their circumstances. Many of these new migrant shelters have become controversial and heavily disputed issues within their local communities in New York. Still, one in particular that opened in East Queens has unique circumstances and nearby surroundings that have made it one of the most controversial in all of the city. On the property of New York State's Creedmoor Psychiatric Facility in the Queens neighborhood of Bellerose near the city's border with Nassau County, the city's government was able to open up a 1,000 men's-only migrant shelter consisting of multiple weatherized tents along with trailers on the former abandoned part of the property. Aside from the shelter being all male, it was also set up across the street from elementary school, its playground, and a little league, causing it to be a significant safety concern for many nearby residents in the surrounding suburban communities of Bellerose, Flowood Park, and Queens Village. In response, local community leaders and organizations, along with predominantly conservative political activists, headlined by Guardian Angels founder and mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa, held a series of protests against the opening and operation of this migrant center. What are you here for today?
Well, I've been here a few days. This is a culmination of this is the 7th demonstration. Started about 3 weeks ago. Started with just 40, then it was 100, then it was 1,000, then it was 4,000. And tonight it culminates in civil disobedience, where there will be about a dozen of us, all of us 65 plus, who will block the entrance, obviously an act of civil disobedience. The message is no tents, no illegal aliens.
Are you ready to get arrested?
Oh yeah, I've been arrested 77 times before. This may be the best of the many arrests that I've had. Most of them have involved civil disobedience like this.
So what do you hope would be the solution around here? What do you instead?
It's to stop Eric Adams, who has basically given an easy pass to the illegal aliens to come to New York City. One minute he says, no, the inn is full, and the next minute he provides more and more amenities to them so that they would want to come here. Because when they cross the border from Mexico into Texas, Catholic Charities meets them there, which is another racket. They get federal tax dollars, and they say, where do you want to go? 9 out of 10, obviously, where would you want to go? New York. You've already seen the videos. They put you up in hotels, you're in Times Square, and now in Creedmoor. And so you want to come up here. It's an opportunity to get into America, because once you're here, the likelihood of them sending you back is minimal. You'll have a child, you'll have a family, you'll probably have a job by then.
Against the human beings, but this is not the right way. Do something else.
So this is the wrong place over here?
Yeah. Is the wrong place? 100% is the wrong place.
Are your concerns about safety for people?
A lot of things, a lot of issues, man. You know,
School here,
park here,
our kids
YMCA,
come here,
our
we
kids
working
here.
here. It's not safe.
So your biggest issue you think is safety with this?
Of course.
Is there anyone you blame in particular for the situation?
Yeah, man.
Who do you blame?
Like,
You blame Eric Adams?
Yes, because he welcomed them.
Because he welcomed them. Understand? Anyone else or no?
let's
Yeah,
see
a
what
lot of
happens.
them, but he's number one because he keeps, welcoming
Yeah,
them.
but
Biden let 8 million illegals in. She loves it. She loves them getting bussed here. She loves them getting bussed here from Texas.
What are our hospitals? What else?
That's why Judge Abbott needs to stop bussing them here.
No, Abbott needs to make sure they don't have to.
Yeah, there we go.
It's Biden's fault. If there's 8 million
You live in
people,
Brooklyn.
no, hold on. If
I want a border like how they have in Israel. You know what I'm
If
talking
there's
about?
8 million
I want one of those
people
walls.
in Texas,
You know which wall
how
I'm
can
talking
they
about?
handle it?
That's right, the one
And this
around
man
Gaza.
can't handle 100,000.
I want one of those walls.
Beautiful.
Why do you want one of those walls?
It's a good wall.
It's a good wall.
It's an effective wall.
So instead, and I hope you hear me, Mr. Mayor and Miss Governor, because what is going on here? Because you don't give a damn about us.
I then noticed Curtis Sliwa begin his act of civil disobedience.
Get her out of here. She's not with us. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Deport these fuckers. Crackhead Barney, do you have anything to say?
As the NYPD arrested political performance artist Crackhead Barney, Curtis Sliwa began walking and blocking the middle of the road, along with dozens of his fellow guardian angels, and were shortly thereafter arrested as they had done other migrant shelter protests across the city. A few moments later, another event organizer gave the final speech of the night.
Hello. All right, let's get back on the sidewalk. Let's not give the police a hard time. All right, we thank you for coming to the rally.
Never seen a leader of a protest get arrested and they applaud the NYPD. That is the first.
And to those of you who have already been arrested tonight, thank you.
And with that, the protest was over. Another unique aspect of the Creedmoor Migrant Shelter is that it is located within New York's 3rd Congressional District, meaning the local representative at the time of its opening was none other than embattled Congressman George Santos. Santos, along with some of his local supporters, held a press conference speaking out against the opening of the shelter.
Thank you, Senator! Thank you!
Good morning.
Congressman!
Good morning. Go ahead. So good morning, everybody. So we're out here in Creedmoor and Bellerose in NY3. This has become a very large point of contention between the city and the constituents here. So my office has fielded several hundred calls over the past couple of weeks up to the lead up of what's going on right behind us. Immigration has become a humanitarian crisis in this country. This isn't about not wanting to help folks. This is about acknowledging that this is a crisis led on by bad policy. So now we're dealing with this here. 1,000 migrants fit into tents behind us. So to think that this is now here in, quite frankly, I call this a little the suburbs of New York City. We're in Queens here. We like our little quaint lifestyle. We've come here to raise our families. We come here for a better life, for quality of life, away from the hecticness of Manhattan. Why isn't Chuck Schumer fixing the issue? Why is it that we have to bear the burden of thousands of migrants all across our neighborhoods? This is the Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden border and migrant crisis. This isn't about hate. This is about compassion and common sense. And we need Washington, D.C. to listen to us. I stand here not as a United States Congressman. I stand here as a citizen, a resident of New York's 3rd District, and I'm asking you all to cut the nonsense and get to work. We cannot support this. We can no longer finance. And with that, I'll take a few questions from the media. Thank you.
After his press conference, he agreed to let me ask him a few questions.
So first thing, you talked about HR 2 earlier. What do you hope that would solve if being passed?
HR 2 stops the floodgates, right? We close the border. You make sure you stop it at the source. So it's like turning off a faucet. Once you turn off the faucet, then you can mitigate the flood damage.
Do you think there's any blame for Republican governors for sending some of the migrants here, making the situation worse?
I'm not happy with Republican governors, but can you imagine we're all the way in New York City. We're complaining about what? 1,000 migrants here, 1,000 migrants there. Can you imagine hundreds of thousands coming in through border states like Governor Abbott has to deal with? So I'm not mad at him. I resent him for sending them here. Send him to California. Newsom loves them. New Yorkers are not. We're touch and go on that stuff.
Do you believe it's possible that any solution can come during the Biden administration for this to be fixed right now?
Regrettably so, no.
You don't believe so?
I do not believe so. I don't think it's in the interest of this administration to actually have any meaningful policy change for the border.
What do you believe was their goals, I guess, as a follow-up to that?
Oh, I don't know. I think that's better reserved for somebody like Richie Torres or Jamal Bowman, because they're the ones who voted for all these policies, and last Congress helped Joe Biden maintain his entire policy. We're just trying to... This Congress right now, we're just mitigating damages, right? We're what, 8 months into this congressional session, and we're doing the best we can. All right, thank you very much, everybody, for being here.
Speaker on our behalf.
Sure, absolutely, please.
He's running for city council.
Go ahead, sir.
Yay, Jonathan! Woo!
My name is Jonathan David Rinaldi. I'm running for city council for District 24. Let's be clear that it was city council that voted to make New York a sanctuary city. And we got to stop using these words like migrants. What this is cloud and pivot. This is a plan to overload the welfare system, to crash our economy, to bring us into a Chinese social credit system. I mean, at the end of the day, they're constantly using and tugging on our heartstrings like we're supposed to care about these people. When they built the military barracks right here with men across the street from where my daughters play softball. They are making our cities unsafe, and they are going to crash the budget of the city on purpose so that they can come in with their government checks, when they can come in, force us to wear masks, force us to get vaccinated, all before the election that's going to happen in November. This is extremely important, and we have to be aware that in my district in 24, the next time I hear of a bus coming, I'm going to park my car and bring the people and stop them. Because right now, my daughters can't walk down these streets. There's 1,000 men with e-bikes. Where are they getting the money for this stuff? Who's paying for this stuff? It's going to be us through our property tax. This is Queens, New York, and we're done with this. And we know what these people are doing. And stop calling it migrants. This is human trafficking. This is child trafficking.
Mr. Rinaldi also allowed me to interview him.
What is your biggest concern? Is it safety?
My biggest concern is that this isn't about migrants, this isn't about safety. This is Cloward and Piven. This is a political ideology to overload the welfare system, using the migrants to crash our system, crash the budget, so that they bring us into the Chinese social credit system. That's where they want to take us.
How do you think that would happen, that something like this would cause a social credit system like they have in China?
Because what this is 20% of the city's budget. They're giving them no bid contracts to build these structures. There's no bid contracts to house them in all these hotels, which we're paying about $500 to $600 per hotel, plus school, plus food. We're talking 20-30% of the city's budget.
So you think that this is all part of a greater scheme, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, this is 100% part of a greater scheme. We just went through COVID. Like, were we pretending like that didn't happen? Like they didn't force us to get vaccinated, force us to wear masks? And now after we went through that, they're bringing these people here. No vaccinations, no vetting whatsoever.
Do you know if it's a vetting? Because I've heard from different people that they have different ID systems, or other people who have said that they were checked for like several health issues and they come into the center?
Yeah,
here?
sure. I'm sure that they checked 100,000 people in our healthcare system. No, that makes a lot of sense. They just bringing them here, but again, they play with our emotions. We're not against families. We're not against immigration. What we're against is socialism, and what we're against is these Democrats trying to bring us there.
So what do you say to some of the migrants who come here from like Venezuela and Cuba? Because I know there's been a couple in here who come from Marxist, or I guess socialist regimes per se.
Yeah, I mean, what are you really supposed to say to someone? I mean, we're not against people. We want to help them, but at the end of the day, what are they going to tell me when they're riding around in a free scooter, getting free rent, their kids are going to school?
What do you hope to do if you are elected?
Well, City Council is the one that made New York a sanctuary city. So City Council controls the budget. Like, honestly, just turn off all the money. Like, we don't need to be spending, we don't need to pay their free rent. We don't need to make New York a sanctuary city. These are the local things that we can do.
Would you ever talk to any of the migrants here and like see how they were feeling, or ask what they were?
I'll talk to them. I can tell how they're feeling, but at the end of the day, they're not, like, there shouldn't be two systems of justice in this country. It's not one for us and one for them. And the fact is, they broke the law coming here. But now they're afforded the protections of all the other laws, but they broke the main.
How did you feel about George Santos' speech here today?
He's the only elected official that I've seen that's shown up and actually spoke on us.
Do you feel like the main message might get lost if you talk more about kind of the global world order, or people just kind of want to get this fixed over here?
It needs to be addressed. The media's not going to cover. The media doesn't cover any of the stuff. They don't interview me. I've been here a million times. You think they ever interview me? No, but it's fine as long as the people know.
I also tried reaching out to District 23 Councilwoman Linda Lee's office, along with several other local Democratic Party elected leaders for interviews and comment as well, but unfortunately all my attempts were ignored. A few days later, I went back to the migrant shelter in surrounding School Park with my friend Ricardo, who was originally from Venezuela, to help me interview migrants who spoke primarily Spanish. While there, we were met first by a local resident and father whose family was currently at the park and was upset about the current condition of it.
What's your name?
Mike.
Michael? Nice to meet you. You live in Bellerose how long?
I'm here. I'm 49 years old. I've been here since I was 2 years old. I went to this school as a kid, so I'm part of the neighborhood, for a lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your opinion on this whole situation?
How I feel on this situation? Well, it looks like we got homeless men all over the place. I just hear somebody popping wheelies in the front of the, across the street from the migrants. It smells like a wonderful cesspool of pot and beer all over the place. So, as you can see, if you turn around right now, this guy's whipping, doing wheelies. So I really don't understand how this could be done to a nice neighborhood. I'm not saying it's the greatest neighborhood in the world, but again, we took our kid, which I'm basically getting ready to leave right about now because of the smell.
So, do you blame anyone in particular for the situation?
I blame the fact that we have not shut down our borders. And then it comes, I don't blame the people from Texas to send them up here because they've been hitting it for so long. I blame the fact that two sides can't figure out how to stop what's going on here. One side, my son is going to be starting in September over here.
Right here, it's kindergarten.
Yeah.
And so that's a big concern for you right now.
Yeah, it is. What I was told, these guys weren't supposed to be in this park at all right now.
Oh yeah, they're supposed to stay
They're supposed to be over there.
What do you hope they do when school starts here?
They're not going to, this is here. We've lost this. This is here. This is just me venting right now. Here we go. Hey, look up. How you doing, man? That's my wife. Tell me that's right.
Shortly after that, I found some migrants who were willing to talk to me on camera, but the first guy only did it on the condition he didn't have to give his name.
Está hecho para la cámara, papi, quédate tranquilo.
So where are you from?
Colombia.
Colombia, nice. So how'd you get to Queens right here?
¿Cómo llegaste hasta aquí, hasta aquí?
Me cambiaron de Chester, me mandaron para acá. Yo estaba en Manhattan, me mandaron para Queens. Tuve un cambio de Chester.
¿Viniste por la frontera o viniste en avión?
Me vine por la frontera, cruzando la selva y los 7 países, Panamá, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras y México.
What are you hoping to get soon? You hope to get a citizenship, residency, working?
¿Qué esperas que el gobierno te ayude con ahora?
Pues espero que me ayuden con un seguro social, un seguro médico, algo para poder entrar a trabajar. Porque la verdad solo depender de las ayudas del gobierno como nos tienen ahorita, la verdad no me siento muy conforme.
¿Y tú qué piensas dar a cambio de eso?
Pues yo ser un buen ciudadano para Nueva York.
¿Y quieres trabajar?
Sí, quiero trabajar y pues quiero aportar.
If you could say one thing to the people in the community concerned about the presence of migrants here, what would you say to them?
Si le podrías decir alguna palabra a las personas que se preocupan, que no les gusta lo del campo de migrante aquí, ¿qué les quisieras decir?
Pues que pusieran los zapatos de cada persona. Que uno en realidad se dé cuenta de lo que uno necesita.
¿Has conseguido algún trabajo o has tratado de conseguir algún trabajo?
No, porque me piden el seguro, me piden los papeles y pues la verdad no tengo papeles.
No, because he needs a work permit.
Understand? Did they ever tell you how long that would take, they think?
¿Te dijeron cuánto tiempo te iba a tomar para que te dieran el permiso de trabajo?
No me han dicho, la verdad. Estoy en proceso.
I then spoke to his counterpart sitting across from him.
Mi nombre es Joshua, soy un artista urbano ecuatoriano. Vengo a este país a radicarme prácticamente porque la situación en mi país está complicada, el tema de las bandas, mucha droga, mucho descontrol por allá. Entonces, para muchos jóvenes la solución está en las calles, pero para muchos las calles no nos ha traído cosas buenas. Entonces buscamos la manera de salir adelante y buscamos un futuro en este país. Entonces muchas personas nos han cerrado la puerta como muchas personas nos han abierto y eso estamos totalmente agradecidos. Hoy quizás estamos aquí en una tierra que no sea nuestra y no somos queridos por muchos, pero nosotros queremos demostrarles que vinimos a trabajar, a ganarnos el dinero, a ganarnos una moneda con nuestro sudor de la frente sin quitarle nada a nadie.
I then asked Joshua how he felt about those in America who don't like the presence of all the new migrants within the country.
Ya que quizás sea por el motivo de que nosotros aún no pagamos tax, al igual que los ciudadanos americanos. Pero nosotros estamos tratando de hacer los documentos y tratar de tener toda nuestra documentación en regla para poder pagar nuestros impuestos y demostrarle al país que nosotros también tenemos el poder y la voluntad de querer trabajar y salir adelante. Y pues uno busca la manera de salir adelante, de solventar a una familia, que no existan necesidades dentro de un hogar y por eso busca quizás el salir y llegar a América, que supuestamente es el sueño americano, ¿no? Pero no es como todos lo piensan, de verdad llegas a tener sueño, ni siquiera se duerme, no se puede comer a un horario fijo, o sea, son tantas cosas que uno vive aquí para poder tener quizás algo de dinero, quizás mantener una estabilidad económica dentro de un país que no es del país.
O sea que tú viniste buscando un mejor futuro.
Sí, pero créeme que lo he pensado y muchas veces me doy yo mismo la controversia en que el dinero no es todo. Porque hoy en día, gracias a Dios, podré tener dinero, pero no tengo lo más preciado que es en esta vida. No tengo a mi familia, no tengo a mi hijo cerca de mí. En Ecuador yo tenía lo más preciado que era mi familia y todo, pero no les podía dar una buena estabilidad económica, quizás. Que es la cual ahora las puedo dar, ¿me entiendes?
¿Qué le dices a esas personas que dicen, no, aquí es que esos vienen puro malandro y vienen a joder y a robar y no sé qué?
Yo les digo que vengo de un país en donde nos estigmatizan mucho quizás por nuestro color de piel, por nuestra apariencia, por nuestra manera de vestir, quizás por una gorra plana, unas gafas, un tatuaje, no te hace ni más ni menos que otra persona. Al contrario, creo que el valor, la educación que uno adquiere desde casa es lo que te hace grande como persona hoy en día. Yo vengo desde abajo, vengo luchando, vengo de una familia humilde, vengo de una familia que me ha sabido criar con valores y los cuales estamos demostrando y pues creo que para el ojo de mucha gente, muchas personas somos malos, ¿no? Está bien, no podemos meternos en la cabeza de esas personas y hacerles pensar diferente. Pero ¿cómo podemos demostrarles por medio de una cámara, por medio de prácticamente este medio de información que hoy es, para que ustedes nos puedan conocer?
¿Qué le dirías a la gente que dicen como que, ok, no, está bien que ustedes vengan, pero tienen que hacerlo de manera legal y todo eso. ¿Están ustedes haciéndolo de manera legal?
Totalmente legal. Nosotros hicimos, claro que recorrimos 6 países los que venimos de Latinoamérica, de Ecuador, Colombia, para poder llegar acá, pero todo lo hemos hecho en un ámbito legal, ingresando, haciéndonos registrar el ingreso al país, la salida del país por la que cruzamos. Para ingresar a Estados Unidos nosotros nos entregamos a las fronteras aledañas y nos pudimos salir de ahí, o nos pudieron habilitar la entrada con un parol. Gracias, nosotros vinimos de aquí a trabajar, más no a que nos regalen nada. O sea, nosotros vinimos a trabajar, no a generarle una molestia al Estado de Nueva York. Al contrario, si vinimos de aquí todos vinimos a trabajar. O sea, si hay una oportunidad de trabajo nosotros, lo que sea, una oportunidad laboral para el que sea, créanme que es bienvenido. Nosotros generamos, también ayudamos con la economía del país. O sea, nosotros buscamos el estar legales de aquí para poder pagar taxes, para poder tener todos los beneficios que quizás un ciudadano lo tiene, pero nosotros siendo inmigrantes, cumpliendo con las normativas que nos ponga el Estado, cumpliendo a cabalidad con todas las reglas que nos pongan para nosotros poder generar también una estabilidad aquí.
Tú caminaste todo el camino desde Ecuador.
Desde Ecuador, vine por Colombia, te cuento que casi me muero en la selva, cruzamos el Darién. Nosotros cruzamos en el anterior año, por ahí por diciembre, y eran épocas de lluvia para todo el mundo. O sea, diciembre creo que es un invierno mundial, entonces los ríos estaban crecidos, el Darién, la selva por donde nosotros ingresamos, fue demasiado complicado. Te cuento que vimos muertos flotando en el río, la corriente era demasiado fuerte que nos arrastraba, habían familias que cruzaban con niños. O sea, nos arriesgamos tanto para buscar un sueño que quizás mucha gente hoy en día nos quiera opacar. Entonces nosotros queremos demostrarle que si arriesgamos nuestra vida tanto de esa manera como para llegar a este país, nosotros no nos cuesta nada agachar la cabeza y trabajar de lo que sea para poder generar dinero, que es lo que vinimos a hacer.
I then spoke to 2 other shelter residents who came all the way from the central region of Africa. What's your name?
My name is Mubarak.
Mubarak, where are you from?
I'm from Sudan.
Sudan?
Yeah.
Did you leave because of the situation in Sudan?
Yeah, because my country we have war.
Yeah, between the 2 generals.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I understand. So, yeah, and how did you get to New York? Did you take a...
I coming by so many countries. Yeah.
Oh,
I coming
what?
by Brazil, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, and San Diego,
Oh,
California.
wow, so you came to South America first, then through there.
Yes.
So how did you get to New York? Did someone give you like a bus ticket here, or did you...
What's with them? We have somebody in California. He buy ticket for come here.
California,
Yeah,
got it.
Santiago.
Santiago, California.
How do you come from Sudan to Brazil?
By fly. I come to Egypt, after Brazil, in Brazil to here, by bus, walking.
Was it unsafe in the trip?
No.
Felt
It's dangerous.
Dangerous?
Yeah. Very dangerous.
How was the jungle?
Today in jungle.
How was crossing the border? Like when you get to the United States, how do you cross the border and how was it?
Walking.
Walking?
Yeah.
And what about when the U.S. government saw you? Like what happened?
To USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no problem. We coming. He say welcome. You take your name, everything. After you took your name, where are you from, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like living in the camp?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good?
Yeah, it's good.
They treat you well?
Yeah, we're sleeping, we're eating. It's good. Yeah.
Have you ever felt unsafe at any point in the camp or no?
Huh?
Have you ever felt unsafe in the camp?
Yeah. Better to sleeping in the road.
How are you hoping the government help you?
Like to get citizenship or residence, like work papers or?
Yeah, his name is asylum.
Asylum. You want asylum?
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, because of the war.
Yes.
So you're applying all the paperwork for the asylum?
Yes.
Have they given you an estimate how long they think that would take?
In October.
What?
How long it would take
like
to
how?
give you
Yeah,
that?
how long?
1 year.
1 year?
Oh, 1 year. Anything else you want to say to the people?
I leave my country because of the war, but yeah, it's good.
How do you like New York and US so far?
Yeah, I like all US. I like.
You found what you didn't, what you were running from. You found it here.
Yeah, yes, because I feel here because USA have freedom.
It's like anybody from your family got hurt in Sudan for what's going on in there.
Is it the battle between the two generals?
To my family.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was him because everything is finished.
Are they okay? Your family?
I don't know.
You have no idea, so you just
my
left.
father has died.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. My condolences. I'm so sorry about that.
My brother, I don't know where is him. I live myself.
Oh wow!
Because I have all my sisters. I have 8.
Yeah.
4 boys, 4 girls.
Did they leave as well?
They leave Sudan.
Yeah, he's to leave, but I don't know where is him.
But you don't know where?
Yeah. Yeah, my friend is from Chad also.
From Chad?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Kenny.
My name is Abdullah.
Abdullah, nice to meet you. So you come because of the civil, some of the unrest in Chad?
Yeah.
He say he have problem in the frontier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like.
Oh yeah.
He like
Intimidation. Were you ever like in danger?
Very dangerous.
Yeah. What did they tell you that they're gonna give you after the 60 days?
No, he said you can stay here 2 months. After 2 months, you're going everywhere. Can you working? Can you pay apartment like that? But after 2 months, we go outside. I don't know where, but.
A few days later, another rally was held outside the facility. The day before the protest, City Mayor Eric Adams held a town hall meeting where he had some pretty dire warnings about the situation. Meanwhile, around this time, I joined a local Facebook group made up of residents and activists called 10 City at Creedmoor, which served a multitude of purposes. This included being a place to keep people informed about the latest updates, protests, and information about the shelter, such as security and safety measures around the local school, along with clarity on the process of how migrants entered the shelter and what services the city did and did not provide for them. In addition, it also served as another place to discuss politics with the community in general. Midway through the protest, a surprise guest and Congressman George Santos showed up to the protest to greet and talk to his constituents directly about the crisis.
He's one of the nicest guys I've known.
You like George?
Love George.
I want the mayor to be held accountable. He's doing the best he can. I'll give him credit. Too little, too late. Action speaks louder than words. We need a resolution to this. This is a humanitarian crisis. Have Republican reps get the bulk of this nonsense. It's New York's 3rd district and New York's 11th district. Put it in AOC's district. Put it in Jamal Bowman's district. Put it in House, not NY3.
You're so full of shit is what you are. You're so full of shit is what you are. I can't stand you.
What are you upset with? What are you upset with George Santos about?
What am I upset about?
Yeah.
He lies about everything. And look at him. He's going to get a paycheck.
Meanwhile, others were just happy to see such a high-profile politician show up for their cause.
Say what you want. He's here.
Later that night, after Santos had left, Curtis Sliwa made another speech similar to the one he gave just a few weeks ago to cap off that rally.
And you know this movement started right here outside of Creedmoor. And we all agreed in those initial rallies, which were the first throughout the city, that we would bring together moderate Democrats, independents, and Republicans together for a common cause to stop the tents and to stop the migrants here in Creedmoor. And you have held to that vow since the very first demonstration. There have been a total of 8 here. So give yourselves a great round of applause for that 1,000 single able-bodied men housed in a tent in Creedmoor with nothing to do and nowhere to go means double trouble. And we've already seen this in the parks here. The mothers and children are no longer able to use it. The young men are hanging out, they're smoking weed, they're drinking cerveza. Let me tell you, all illegal park, and we gotta pay for 3 squares a day, your iPhone, your cell phone, culturally appropriate food, make sure you have health care, you can pack your bags and get the hell out of here. That's not what America is about. I promise you this. Unlike Eric Adams, who has forsaken you and abandoned you.
After his speech, I was able to do a follow-up interview with him.
How is everything going with the citywide effort so far against this?
Well, the outer boroughs is where the rebels are. I'm the leader of the rebels. Politicians do what they do. Lawyers are going into court trying to get temporary restraining orders. We're dealing against the federal, state, city government. So they're popping up. There are pop-up shelters all over. And so far, it's a stalemate right now. Manhattan is not organizing, and the majority of the illegals are being housed there. So we only go where people are willing to organize and say no.
What do you think of Mayor Adams' recent comments yesterday about how it's going to destroy the city, and he says there's no end in sight to this issue? What is your opinion on that?
Well, Mayor Eric Adams just surrendered. He waved the white flag. He said, we're going to be destroyed if this keeps up. And I said, well, what are you doing about it? We don't need a soothsayer. We don't need a gypsy looking into the crystal ball. We can all tell at this rate we're going to be destroyed. You wanted to be mayor. You won against me. Swagger man, what is your plan? And that's the problem. He has no plan.
He asked about getting the big thing he says is getting the migrants' papers and letting them go around to work. What's your opinion on Adams' effort to kind of, I guess, expedite? What's your opinion on Mayor Adams' push to expedite working paper process for the migrants?
Right, that is ridiculous because all that is going to encourage is more illegals to come. Now they see you could stay at a hotel, you get 3 squares, have a Vespa, motorbike, you don't have to register it. Man, you have a life here in America that's probably 100 times better from where you came. Plus, you don't have to wait to get a job. And think about all the people who came in here legally who had to wait. Mm-hmm. How unfair is that? Waiting 6 months, we're paying for everything. They don't have to do anything. And by the way, I'd like to know where they're getting the money for the motorbikes, the Vespas, and the cerveza and the weed that they seem to be enjoying American style.
So on that surface, what do you say to those who would argue, though, that if they do get the working papers, they can get money, they can get some income, and they can start paying into taxes, and that could really, because the argument I hear from a lot of people on the other side is that they're already here. Why not let them, while they're already here, get the working papers, pay into the system, and so that kind of alleviates some stuff, and maybe they can find different housing. So what would you say to those people?
Well, there's no doubt they're not going back. By the time they get an asylum hearing, it'll be many years from now. They'll have a baby, they'll marry someone. We're not going to break up families. So whoever got in here, they're going to figure out a way to legally stay. But if you start allowing them to come in and work right from the jump street, there are a lot of other people who are desperate to come into America. And that'll signal to them that once you get into America, you can work. And that'll speed up. We are overwhelmed now. You can imagine what it would be like then. Close the border, come in legally. That's the right way to do it. That's the way generations have done it.
What do you hope is the solution here if they don't get working permits and the government and Adams keeps saying, I can't deport them, and they're stuck kind of in this situation where they can't really move around anywhere and they can't go else? I mean, what is a practical goal that can be done?
Practical solution, there's 3. A, declare that we're not a sanctuary city. There's nothing in law that says we're a sanctuary city. So say as tomorrow, we're no longer welcoming. When the bus comes in, we're turning it around back to Washington. It's your problem, Mr. President. Number 2, if you want to come in and you're already here, they should have them housed in Rikers Island. There are empty facilities. It's 400 acres. You can put up tents. They stay there for 6 months. You check their backgrounds, see that they don't have criminal records in their country of origin or even while they're here. give them medical checkups that they haven't had, make sure they're fully vaccinated, and then you let them leave the island. They can go wherever they want then, they can get whatever work they want, but keep them isolated to one location. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna scatter site them everywhere. The expenses will be so horrific that next year we'll be on the brink of a fiscal collapse. The mayor's already said he's gonna cut all services. How is that fair to taxpayers? And by the way, by next year, do you know how many more taxpayers will have sold their home? The only thing preventing that right now is a 7.5% mortgage rate, or people would be like, for sale signs, sale, they're out of here.
I then walked across the street to try and interview another migrant living in the shelter from Mauritania. But before I could, he was quickly whisked away by shelter security due to intense counter-protesting by some individuals outside the entrance of the facility.
Get out. You walk like you own this country, you don't fucking belong here. What? Yeah, I want him to fuck out. Put that on record, okay? As a daughter of a war hero for World War II, I want him to fuck out. Why should we pay for them? Come here legally or don't come here at all? Do you know there are drug cartels in the mix?
I got videos.
How about traffickers? How about drug dealers? I happen to know there's a certain hotel where they found guns in the room, all right? Do you like that? Obviously you do, because you're not saying a word. Now get out of my face.
I'm just doing an observational documentary. I'm not saying it one to the other.
No reason to curse.
I'm doing a documentary.
Yeah, well, I know I've been in one already, but what's up? What's the name of it?
Mine, I'm thinking about 10 City Bellerose.
What is your name?
Kenny.
Susan. Nice to meet you, Kenny.
Nice to meet you. Hope, I'm just trying to do an observational documentary. That's all we're trying to do here.
Well, I didn't mean to do that. You know, I didn't know that. I'm used to media, a lot of them spin stuff. Kenny, I'm sure you know that. And you know how the deal is in New York, you know? I just don't want them here. Come here legally. Very few women and children are here. I've been doing this for a year and a half. When the very few women get off the bus with the kids, mainstream media shuts off the camera, and hundreds of men come on, but they don't film that, okay? All right? And I happen to know that there are a lot of them are cartels, and they have had guns. And when I asked why is nothing being done about it, I'm told our hands are tied. That makes no sense to me, Kenny.
They're aggressive.
You as a New Yorker, you know what it's like to live here. It's very costly, it's very hard. Look, we love immigrants, but we want them to come here the right way, and you know that.
My grandpa was an immigrant.
And I wish you all the luck in the world for you with your documentation.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You want us to be here? You're blocking the sidewalk. You got to move to the side.
No problem.
Okay, then do it.
Get the fuck out.
And they tell us that's government property, so the pot's
Bye. See you later. Yeah, what are you hiding your head for, huh?
What do you hope, like, is like the goal tonight? Like, what do you hope to accomplish being out here tonight? Just protesting, or?
Well, to be honest with you, Kenny, to draw attention to it, which has been done like we did in Staten Island. Coney Island did a great job. They got the men out of the gym in the school. But other than that, people need to take it a step higher.
Look, he's wearing a COVID-19 vaccine shirt. Right on. Yeah, there you. It's coming. There's a worse one.
And where the
Election
fuck are you from? Get out.
Oh God, I love you people.
Yeah, I love me too. Get out.
Do you think that's going to help the situation if you just like talk to them, like the situation?
No, I don't. But you know what? They need to know that they're not welcome here. And you know what? We still have laws in this country. We have laws. And if Tom Homan gets back in, I love him. They're going to get rounded up and sent back, but we need Trump back into office to do it. We got crime to beat the band. Murders, robberies, rapes, subways are dangerous. And yet these officers are stuck out here, standing here with these scums. I can't. My father was a war hero. My father would cry when he heard the national anthem. All 6'2" of him. All 6'2". At 16, he stormed the beach of Normandy. Do you think I'm going to sit back and not let my voice heard? Kenny, it hurts.
What are you afraid they're going to like destroy the country, or what is it?
What?
What is it you're most afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything, but I know that communism is coming. Do you think that Biden's doing this because he loves these motherfuckers? No, it's all for cheap labor and a vote. The blue vote. And if people don't get it, they better wake up, because that's coming. And there will be no law and order.
After that, my night was over. At another follow-up protest 6 days later that I also filmed at, I was obtaining some B-roll footage when I suddenly noticed a garbage fire across the street outside the migrant camp entrance. As I watched the trash fire burn, I couldn't help but think there was no better allegory for the situation than this. It was also around this time that an incident occurred where two local residents, who were documenting some of the migrants in the park after hours from their car, were assaulted by one of the shelter's inhabitants. They agreed to speak to me on camera about the episode.
And so what happened to you guys yesterday?
So we actually came from the meeting at the 105th at the church to talk about what was going on with the migrants and everything. It was a very nice, calm evening. So we decided to come by here to see what was going on because we hadn't been here in a while. Just a simple drive-by video, and that's exactly what we were doing. We started, we made a turn, we started videotaping. Everything was quiet, we filmed what we needed, and as soon as we got to the bus stop here, for the light, all of a sudden there was a migrant sitting on that bench, and he started with his fingers,
F you, F you.
Go ahead, Jen, you take over.
And she started filming him, and one thing led to another. He got up off of here, he came by the car, and he leaped into the vehicle. He tried to grab her phone, he damaged her hand.
Got my finger back.
Then as he was coming back out, he went to punch me in the face, and he got me. It was like something out of a movie, and the evil look in his face, he looked so evil and demonic. That was the devil right there.
And then we called for the police, and then I realized that they were across the street, so I called for them to come. I explained to them what happened, we showed them the video. They came over behind the car and started to talk to him, and he was very aggressive with the police. He didn't want to listen whatsoever.
Out of the bus stop, everyone, out of the bus stop. Out of the bus stop, out of the bus stop, out of the bus stop. Out of the bus stop. Out of the bus stop. Out of the bus stop.
Sit down. Sit down. Dial 911. Dial 911. They're beating up the cops.
Michelle, I'm
Dial 911.
Oh, Michelle, close the window.
Dial 911. Is he arrested? Did they arrest him?
Here, Michelle, call the police. This is horrible. Horrible.
Did they end up making an arrest?
Yes.
They did? Okay.
Yes. But now he refuses to give his name, and he's refusing to be fingerprinted, and he's under John Doe, which is leading me to believe drug cartel. There should be curfews here. They should not be allowed to come and go day or night.
And to be honest with you, when I reflect on everything that I went through emotionally, physically, I say to myself, this has to stop.
A few minutes later, I noticed adjacent City Council District 24 candidate, John David Rinaldi, speaking to the migrants directly himself. When I first observed, he seemed to be in the middle of a pretty impassioned discussion with multiple tent residents. As I walked over, I wondered how he was able to communicate with them directly. That's when I found out he speaks fluent Spanish.
No vamos a tener plata para pagar a la policía, no vamos a tener plata para quitarles la basura. Cuando 200 millones de personas vienen acá y la ciudad está pagando por todos.
Nosotros tenemos trabajo para nuestras cargas de interés. Nosotros no queremos nada gratis. Para votar hay que tener documentos. No queremos trabajar y pagar nuestros propios intereses en la ciudad, aportar a la ciudad.
Están usando esta tragedia para que ustedes votan, para que ellos puedan pasar lo que se dé la gana.
Biden, Donald Trump abajo.
Nada que te digo.
Fuera con usted, no nos deja pasar acá.
Yo quiero que
Biden venga y nos saque a todos. Who are working in the construction, who are working in the kitchen, the immigration people.
trajeron acá.
No, you.
Hey, you can identify yourself today? You work for the city, right? You're responsible for all this?
For this is crazy. He said, I am American. Yes, he American. Who are working in American? Construction, immigration people is working construction, restaurant, kitchen, house. Check, is the kitchen here working? American not working, the kitchen construction. What is the problem? He working for Donald Trump. What is the problem with Biden? It's different.
What?
A few weeks later, on Election Day, despite their best efforts, both Rinaldi and District 23 Council candidate Bernard Chow, whom Curtis Sliwa was campaigning with directly, lost their respective races by significant margins. A few weeks later, Congressman George Santos was expelled from the House of Representatives on grounds and charges brought by the Justice Department for multiple violations of federal law, including wire fraud, money laundering, and identity theft, becoming only the third person since the end of the Civil War to be expelled from Congress. In February 2024, a special election was held in New York's 3rd Congressional District to fill the vacant seat. This was won by Democrat and former Nassau County Executive Tom Suozzi. In October of 2024, the most high-profile case involving shelter occupants occurred when 2 migrants originally from Cuba who were facing attempted murder charges in Florida were caught inside the shelter along with a gun on one of them. As a result of this, metal detectors were installed at the entrance of the shelter, and Councilwoman Linda Lee expressed outrage to the media that no one from the shelter contacted her about the incident. In that time, no other significant incident, event, or update had occurred involving the shelter, and the situation was at an impasse. That was until November of 2024 on Election Day, when the real backlash from the shelter's presence in the community was fully seen. In the results of the massive Northeast right-wing voter shift of the 2024 presidential election, no place showcased this trend better than in the voting precincts located near the shelter in Bellerose and Queens Village, which had all shifted by more than 30 points to Trump compared to the 2020 election and as high as 41 points in one particular precinct. That's when I knew I needed to do more interviews with migrants residing in the shelter about the dramatic change of direction America was taking. A few weeks later, I was able to go back to the shelter with a friend to help translate once again. Coincidentally, on that same day, the most recent high-profile criminal case involving a migrant in New York City just so happened earlier that morning when a man from Guatemala, who had entered the country illegally and was already extradited once before in 2018, set a woman on fire on the subway in Coney Island, killing her. While trying to find migrants to interview hanging out at the bus stop, I noticed one of them sitting in a chair selling grams of weed to other migrants at the shelter. Soon after, one of the guys buying weed agreed to let me interview him. Tell us what your name is.
¿Cómo se llama?
Brian. Alright, where are you from?
Venezuela. De Caracas, de Maracay.
When did you get to the United States?
¿Hace cuánto llegó a los Estados Unidos?
Ya voy para 2 años ya.
2 años. ¿Cuándo llegó aquí al shelter? Llegué aquí en el 2023, el 21 de febrero. ¿Y cómo es todo el ambiente ahí? ¿Cómo lo tratan?
Ahí nos tratan bien, nos ayudan para que nosotros sacamos nuestros papeles, nuestros documentos.
What made you want to come to America?
¿Qué le hizo tomar la decisión de venirse para acá, para los Estados Unidos?
Allá en Venezuela lo que pasa es que el presidente Nicolás Maduro se roba la comida, se roba los votos, se roba la plata. Entonces yo estaba pasando un mal momento allá con mi familia, no tenía nada para darle a la familia, solamente allá los policías te ven trabajando, vendiendo fruta, y así sea vendiendo fruta te agarran los policías y te quitan la plata, los policías te roban, te matan y ya no puedes hacer nada, te quedas muerto.
¿Y usted dejó a su familia ya, o sea, su primera familia, su esposa, sus hijos, tiene familia así, o su mamá, su papá?
No tengo esposa porque no puedo tener esposa en estos momentos, porque si estoy tratando yo más bien de superarme poco a poco.
¿En Venezuela? Estoy hablando de Venezuela.
En Venezuela sí tuve esposa, bastante mujeres, tuve bastante, pero ya dejé todo eso atrás porque más me interesa mi mamá, para la comida, para buscar, ¿entiendes?
¿Y por dónde se vino? Cuando se vino para acá, ¿cómo fue el transcurso?
Me vine de Venezuela para acá, me vine para Colombia, y en Colombia un amigo mío y una amiga me estaban diciendo que para venirnos para acá, entonces que aquí era mejor, y entonces yo fui guardando plata poco a poco. En ese tiempo me vine con $250 y 300 pesos colombianos. No le debo nada a nadie, gracias a Dios.
Sí.
When did you get here? Like what month?
¿En qué mes llegó aquí?
Llegué en febrero, el 21 de febrero.
Okay, and so you've just been. When did you get to New York City?
¿Cuándo llegó a la ciudad?
El 21 de febrero del 2020.
Same day. What did you? You got buses here from what, the border?
Es decir, los de inmigración los transportaron para acá.
Los policías, sí.
¿Sí?
So how long have you been living at this shelter?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo aquí en este ciudad?
Tengo viviendo como en este chete desde que llegué.
Oh, since you got here, which was February 21st.
Oh, so you've been here for 9 months, this shelter.
No he cambiado de ser, aquí me quedo hasta que se me preste la oportunidad de conseguir un empleo y conseguir un empleo y poder pagar un arriendo cuando se me preste un trabajo.
¿Y de qué trabaja?
¿Yo de qué trabajo? De construcción aquí, gracias a Dios.
Inicial cuando escuchó sobre la elección del presidente Trump.
¿De Trump?
Sí.
No, el presidente Trump, yo sé que muchos venezolanos han hecho lo malo aquí, ¿verdad? Yo comprendo, entiendo que sí han hecho lo malo los venezolanos aquí, pero todos no somos iguales, todos no pensamos iguales. Y bueno, si Donald Trump que quiere deportar, a mí que no me deporte para Venezuela, yo me quiero quedar aquí.
Pero si tú tuvieras el voto, la opción para votar, ¿escogerías a Trump o escogerías a otro presidente? O sea, suponiendo que el presidente no tenga las mismas ideas que Trump, ni tampoco que quiera ayudar mucho a los inmigrantes.
Coño, yo de verdad.
Si tú tuvieras la opción de votar y Trump es malo y el otro es malo, ¿te daría lo mismo si votas o no? ¿O solo votarías ahora porque te beneficia no tenerlo como presidente?
Yo digo la verdad, Donald Trump, él es como te puedo decir que es un presidente que como que no sé, pero tiene que agarrar como con todo el mundo, porque yo imagino que si va a deportar todo el mundo, no sé cómo va a hacer eso, es lo que va a hacer él, si va a deportar todo el mundo o no sé, porque si va a deportar un inmigrante tiene que deportar a todos los inmigrantes, a todo el mundo, a todos los inmigrantes, no a solamente a un inmigrante. Entonces, bueno, por lo menos yo no sé ahí si va a deportar o solamente que aquel inmigrante que tiene suerte, que tiene su nacionalidad, ya eso es suerte, ya no podemos hacer nada porque si no nos quieren ayudar aquí, es mejor regresar a otra parte. Pues.
What do you fear is going to happen once he takes office on January 21st, Donald Trump? Yeah.
Que na huevo, ni le saca.
¿Qué piensa que va a pasar cuando lo elijan, cuando él empiece la presidencia, el 1 de enero? ¿Qué piensa de su futuro aquí en el país? ¿Qué piensa de las decisiones que va a tomar él contra los inmigrantes indocumentados?
¿Qué pienso, coño?
¿Qué quisiera que pasara?
Yo de verdad que yo de verdad que ahí sí de verdad, coño. Él es presidente y él sabe lo que va a hacer.
Pero usted tiene derecho a opinar. Una opinión, no es como que no le quita nada ni le quita menos.
No, que él haga lo que quiera hacer porque él es el dueño del país, él es de aquí, pues no. No, yo creo que él es de aquí. Bueno, yo porque nunca he leído historia de él, nunca.
Sí, él es de aquí, pero, o sea, el hecho de que él es de aquí no
¿Su mamá era de dónde?
Trump is born here?
What?
His family's from the United States? Trump?
Yeah, Trump's actually his childhood home
is in Queens.
Is in Queens. Yeah, it's in
Queens.
Yeah, his childhood home
¿Y el papá?
was on 179th Street, next to the F train.
Entonces el papá ni la mamá no son ningunos inmigrantes como salen en las redes.
The mother, I think, is
Dice
the
que
mother.
la mamá es inmigrante.
His mother is from Scotland.
¿Por qué la mamá de él era inmigrante?
No sabe.
Oh, bueno. Si la mamá es de Donald Trump es inmigrante, entonces la tiene agarrada con unos inmigrantes.
Él tiene que saber lo que va a hacer porque él es presidente. Aquí él tiene que saber lo que va a hacer. No, ya decía, eso vamos a cambiar la conversación. Hay mucha gente envidiosa y yo lo comprendo, que mucha gente también se vino para acá y la persona vino para acá y tuvo también un esfuerzo como uno. Pero ¿qué es lo que pasa, mano? Que a nosotros nos dicen que nosotros somos los más, no sé, desechables, la gente nos agarran así como que nos menosprecian mucho, a nosotros los emigrantes nos desprecian mucho, así como que somos la basura. Mucha gente, por eso yo digo en plural, en todo el mundo hay envidia. Y entonces, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Que mira, ves, yo llegué aquí, tengo casi 2 años.
¿No go to sec? Oh, yeah. No, good, man, yeah.
Tengo casi 2 años, marihuana.
I'm good, man.
Yo por lo menos estoy aquí y yo consigo trabajo porque a mí no me importa lo que diga la gente. Yo salgo a buscar trabajo, ¿me entiendes, hermano? Y si no consigo trabajo, compro una bolsa de caramelos y salgo a vender caramelos por ahí y busco trabajo. Y a la vez pido la colaboración si no encuentro. Yo lo hago así. Hasta con documentos y todo, con todos los documentos encima. ¿Sí me entiendes? Salgo a buscar trabajito, vendo mis caramelos, hago cualquier cosa, ¿me entiendes? Pero de hambre, yo no me voy a morir de hambre porque una persona me diga, no pida porque te parece al dedo oficial, que tal, que no pida porque se ve feo, uno vino para acá, para los Estados Unidos a pedir, pero si no consigue trabajo en ningún lado. La mayoría de las personas que saben dónde está un trabajo no te dicen.
Sí, no quieren decir.
No quieren decirte.
Porque no quieren que la gente supere.
Sí.
No habla que los inmigrantes
Eso.
trabajo, sí.
Él sabe, mira, él es una persona inteligente. Y a mí me gusta hablar con personas así, ¿ves? Personas que dialecten conmigo, hermano. Mira, ¿ves cómo le puedo decir? Mucha gente que no quieren ver, por lo menos, presidente Maduro. Mira lo que pasa con el presidente Maduro. Yo no soy pastor, yo no soy predicador, nada de eso, pero sí me gusta hablar. Mira el presidente Maduro, ¿ves? Yo estaba en Venezuela viviendo tranquilo, niño. Cuando era niño, estaba el presidente Chávez, tenía mucho dinero, ¿verdad? Se montó el presidente, bueno, siempre he venido una persona humilde. Mi mamá no va a decir que tiene una mansión, mi mamá tiene una casita humilde, que más bien te pide de ayudarla para ver si algún día le acomodo la casa a mi mamá. ¿Sí me entiendes? Ese es mi sueño.
¿Cómo se siente sobre la gente de la comunidad, cómo lo tratan, cómo lo miran? O sea, ¿cómo usted se siente cuando camina por aquí? Si la gente le da malos gestos, si lo tratan bien, si se sienten incómodos por usted caminar. O sea, si usted siente que se sienten incómodos por su presencia.
Yo le digo la verdad. Aquí en los Estados Unidos te matan si te quieren matar y no te pagan. Yo salgo para la calle dispuesto a todo, a morirme o a vivir. Pero tengo que salir a buscar la comida, porque si no me muero de hambre. Me puedo morir una de esas 3 cosas. Si no me matan en la calle, si me matan en la calle, nadie va a saber, nadie me va a pagar. ¿Sí me entiendes? Porque aquí hay muchas cosas malas. Entonces la otra es esta. Si no salgo para la calle a buscar trabajo y me quedo aquí adentro en el cheste, esa comida, con todo el respeto, no good. ¿Sí me entiendes? Esa comida, ellos más bien la comida buena como que la esconden. No sé qué coño madre hacen la comida, ¿verdad, mano? Yo no sé qué hacen la comida, mano, porque traen comida buena, mano, a veces, y cuando uno se despierta a buscar, ellos dicen que no hay. Entonces ya uno no pelea con esa gente, más bien yo salgo para la calle a buscar por ahí, a buscar la manera de cómo comemos otra comida. Gracias a Diosito, le pido primeramente gracias a Dios que hago todo lo posible para buscar una comida y comérmela tranquilo, sin robar, sin hacer nada. Les pido, prefiero pedir que robar, que me van a llevar, mira, porque esta es otra. Si te ven robando, te llevan preso, ¿verdad? Está bien, estás robando, pero no te quieren dar trabajo. ¿Sí me entiendes? No te quieren dar trabajo, no quieren que robe, entonces ¿qué hago? Me muero de hambre.
Lo que te van a decir, y te lo digo como versión de abogado, te van a decir es que ese no es problema de ellos y tú tomaste tu decisión de venir para acá.
Eso, yo tengo que buscar la manera, así sea limpiando un piso, no sé, haciendo lo que sea, no sé, haciendo lo que sea, hermano. Así sea, así, de cualquier trabajo, busco cualquier trabajo. Me aguanto la humillación, hermano, porque yo vine para acá. ¿Me entienden? Ya yo estoy aquí, ya, ¿qué voy a hacer? ¿Morir aquí?
Que si le han dicho ustedes en el shelter algo sobre la nueva presidencia.
Mano, y mi yesquero.
Si
La nueva presidencia.
Si le han dicho algo allá adentro. Si le han dicho algo en el shelter, si le han dicho algo sobre la presidencia nueva que va a pasar, como los cambios, si los van a mover, si los van a quitar, si los van a extender.
Mano, yo le digo la verdad con todo el respeto, que hagan lo que quieran hacer, ya yo estoy cansado ya de estar para allá, para acá, para allá, para acá. Si me vengo de allá con esa broma para acá también así no mismo, no hermano.
Y aquí en el frío peor.
Mano, que hagan lo que quieran hacer. No, mano.
Mi nombre es Linder, soy de Perú.
¿Y cuánto tiempo lleva aquí?
Bueno, yo recién tengo 6 meses.
¿6 meses?
Sí, 6 meses.
¿Y cómo se siente los 6 meses que ha pasado aquí? Sobre el país, sobre su experiencia.
Bueno, el país es muy bonito. La experiencia está ahí más o menos. Lo que sí hace falta es más trabajo, ¿no? El trabajo está muy escaso. Y pues eso básicamente.
Pero ¿diría usted que falta más trabajo o falta más papeles para la gente o más ayuda? Porque trabajos hay, solo que porque yo tengo papeles y es difícil de conseguir trabajo a veces. Entonces me imagino que para ustedes sería más difícil de conseguirlos también.
Eso sí, yo ahorita estoy en proceso de que me llegue mi permiso de trabajo y social security.
Ya pidió, ya hizo la cita, ya tomó huellas y todo.
Ya. ¿Sí? Ya posiblemente a fines de enero, quincena de febrero me está llegando mis papeles, ¿no?
¿Y qué piensa trabajar cuando le lleguen los papeles? ¿De qué trabaja usted?
Bueno, acá hay que meterle todo. Aquí hay que darle todo. Sí, claro.
Pero primariamente, ¿para qué usted o para qué estudió? ¿Qué se ejerció?
Bueno, en Perú mi carrera técnica es de optometría. Trabajo soy lo que mido la vista y todas esas cosas, ¿no? Todo lo que es paciente directamente. Así es. Aquí pues trabajar estuve con el trabajo de drywall. Ahorita lo que así es, soldadura también. Soy soldador 3G. Por papeles sí se me ha cerrado muchas puertas.
¿Y qué cree usted sobre la elección de la presidencia? ¿Qué cree sobre la decisión que tomó el país o el Congreso sobre escoger al presidente Trump arriba de la señora Kamala?
Bueno, pienso que cada país escoge lo que más le conviene, ¿no? A nosotros como migrantes pues simplemente nos toca acatar lo que la decisión del pueblo, ¿no? Decide. Así es.
Sí, porque incluso este país está diseñado prácticamente de gente inmigrante desde hace mucho tiempo. Este país en realidad no tiene lenguaje oficial. ¿Sabía usted eso?
Eso sí, es verdad. Hay muchas lenguas aquí.
Muchas lenguas. Este país no tiene como que el inglés. Cuando le dicen como que no habla en español, habla inglés, porque aquí estamos en los Estados Unidos. Sí. Este país no tiene lenguaje oficial.
Así es verdad. Es un país de inmigrantes, como se dice.
Sí. Y el transcurso de Perú hacia los Estados Unidos, ¿cómo fue? ¿Cuántos países tuvo que cruzar?
Mira, yo me vine justo cuando Perú todavía tenía la visa, no le pedían visa a Perú para entrar a México. Entonces para mí fue un poco más fácil, digamos. Yo llegué por Cancún, pero en el trayecto de subir a Cancún hacia la frontera, para mí fue muy trágico, ¿no? Y en México, pues, el primer día que llegué casi me matan, casi me secuestran.
¿En México?
En México. ¿No?
¿Lo agarraron?
Sí.
¿Le pidieron
en un hotel, nos sacaron del hotel a mí y a 75 hindúes más que estaban en ese hotel. Ya como que yo justo llego ese día y ese día ya empezó el secuestro. Y yo estaba metido
ahí. ¿Gente del cartel o
gente del cartel? Con armamento y todo, me apuntaron.
¿Pero qué fue lo que les preguntaron?
No, simplemente rentaron a mi puerta, rentaron al hotel, con un armamento me apuntaron, me tiraron al piso y me dijeron de dónde era y yo era de Perú. Pensaban de que yo era el coyote de toda esa gente, yo recién había llegado, pues, supuestamente como turista, ¿no? Como todo el mundo entra. Así es.
¿Y cuando llegó a la frontera se entregó a la policía o lo cogieron?
Cuando llegué a la frontera me entregué a migración, a la migración. Estuve en la hielera y de ahí estuve un mes en Imperial, en Calexico, California. Ahí estuve un mes encerrado. Y de ahí, gracias a Dios, di mi miedo creíble y pude pasar, ¿no?
¿Y qué fue la información que usted les dio a ellos para que le creyeran que pudiera pasar para los Estados Unidos?
Bueno, básicamente es por qué me estaba retirando de mi país, ¿no? Porque yo no podía volver a mi país.
Sí.
Pues tuve que ponerle todo lo que yo, por lo cual vivía, estaba corriendo riesgo en mi país.
Sí.
Mi persona.
Y cuando lo dejaron pasar, ¿qué fue lo que le dijeron? ¿Le dijeron que se podía quedar por tantos meses, tantos años? ¿O solo le dijeron bienvenido, pasa a los Estados Unidos? ¿O
sí.
¿Cómo fue el proceso ese?
Bueno, salí de la prisión y nos llevaron a un estacionamiento de taxi y de ahí cada uno que se busque la vida, ¿no? Claro, yo tengo mi cita de sí, ya cité mi cita de sí, tengo mi corte, pero para el 2026, perdón.
Ah, que tiene un poco de tiempo para asegurarse con los papeles y todo.
Así es.
Y aquí los tratan bien, les dan comida bien, todo bien.
Bueno, gracias a Dios tenemos un techo, ¿no? Y eso es lo que más se valora, ¿no? O sea, imagínate llegar de un país que no tiene nada, a un país donde nadie te va a recibir, pues eso es una gran ayuda, ¿no? Bueno, y la comida, pues no hay que quejarse, ¿no? Al menos tenemos algo para comer y es una bendición, así es, y agradecido totalmente, claro que sí. Esto para mí es una gran ayuda y agradecido, no tengo nada que quejar. Así es, en ese sentido.
What is it like being in the shelter when it's like cold nights like this?
Cuando hay temperaturas como la que hay ahora, ¿cómo se siente estar allá adentro? ¿La calefacción funciona bien? ¿Le dan para arroparse?
Bueno, la calefacción sí estaba bien, sino que anoche no sé qué ha pasado, que se fue la electricidad y nos hemos congelado prácticamente. Y no sé, tu pabellón está bien en la grande. Igual, hemos estado, pero despertamos, pero con un tremendo frío. Sí.
La siguiente pregunta es que si se siente seguro entrando aquí, en este shelter o aquí en esta comunidad.
Mira, yo soy una persona que vivo tranquilo, no me meto con nadie, o sea, trato de no justamente estar metido en... Tú sabes lo que hay aquí, ¿no? Entonces, creo que cuando uno busca a su madre, el mal le va a llegar. Si tú andas por el camino correcto, no tienes por qué temer de nada. No me meto con nadie.
Que si le han dicho a usted sobre la nueva administración del gobierno, del presidente.
Sí, estoy enterado de muchas cosas y sé que pues, se viene el día difícil para nosotros los migrantes, justamente los que estamos más acá metidos en los shelters. Y bueno, vamos a esperar qué pasa, ¿no? Vamos a esperar, espero que no nos desalojen, al menos por un tiempo más, hasta tener un papel y tener un trabajo básicamente.
Que si está preocupado por lo que pase con la decisión de Trump, si los va a desalojar del país, si eso le preocupa, si no le preocupa, si le da igual, ¿cómo se siente sobre eso? ¿Está preparado para eso mentalmente o no está preparado para eso?
Bueno, a fuerza hay que estar preparado sobre eso, ¿no? Sería mentirte no estar preocupado, pero bueno, si la decisión está ahí, pues acatarlo, tenemos eso.
¿Qué quisiera decirle usted a la gente que votó por el presidente Trump simplemente por la inmigración, por los indocumentados o por la gente que viene de otros países, que incluso los que votaron por Trump, algunos o la mayoría, son inmigrantes también o de padres inmigrantes? ¿Qué quisiera decirles a usted a ellos?
Bueno, que tenga un poquito más de compasión hacia nosotros, que muchos de nosotros, o la mayoría de nosotros, no venimos a hacer daño, simplemente venimos acá a hacernos de un futuro más próspero para nuestras familias que dejamos en nuestros países, ¿no? Y que se le aplane un poquito el corazón y que no nos trate tan mal.
What are your hopes in the next 6 months?
¿Qué esperanzas tiene para los próximos 6 meses?
Bueno, conseguir un trabajo estable, juntar un poco de dinero y pues regresar a mi país, que es lo que más uno quiere estar. Uno viene acá solamente de paso, nada más. Y bueno, eso básicamente.
¿Qué haría usted si lo deportan?
Nada, solamente acatar la decisión, no tengo de otra. Si me deportan, pues ¿qué voy a hacer? Tengo que irme a regresar a mi país
¿Pero qué planes tiene si se regresa a su país? ¿Qué haría allá? O sea, porque se vino
claro,
por una razón.
Así es. Bueno, tratar de allá cumplir las metas que de repente se quedó frustrado acá, pues, ¿no? Que es bueno, yo tengo una meta personal y si es que no se da, pues allá lucharlo y hacer lo imposible para completarlo.
Almost 2 months later, I was able to find another translator to help me interview migrants one more time to see if Trump's second term had already begun to change things around the facility and for its residents. While there were still some migrants waiting at the bus stop, it was noticeable how fewer people seemed to be around the shelter altogether. Soon, I was able to find another migrant from Venezuela, and I was able to ask him about how he felt about the new presidential administration along with his current prospects. Well, what's your name?
Carlos.
Carlos, where are you from?
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Why did you come to the United States?
Yo vine hace 7 meses.
¿Por qué viniste?
¿Por qué vine? Porque en mi país está pasando necesidades. A pesar de que es un país que te brinda muchos conocimientos para tu subsistir en la vida, está pasando por unas crisis tanto económicas como políticas, muchos aspectos, comida, inseguridad.
How did you feel about the recent presidential election in the United States?
¿Cómo te sientes acerca del nuevo presidente, cosas así?
Bueno, la verdad no conozco mucho de la política, no te podría dar una opinión concisa, sino que me he enfocado en lo que ha dicho respecto a los migrantes que me incluye como migrante. Y sí, ha puesto un poco de temor en mí porque ha creado la duda de que existe la posibilidad de que me deporten sin yo cometer algún delito, y son cosas que me he documentado en los últimos días.
¿Qué le dirías a la gente que dice que porque entraste al país ilegalmente ya es un crimen?
Bueno, la verdad pienso que respecto a eso, el presidente pasado había dado una oportunidad de ingreso al país por un medio legal, pues, y que si por ese medio no se podría entrar, ya sería por una razón muy extrema de peligro que estaría pasando, ya sea en cualquiera de las dos fronteras. Pero si no tuviste ningún peligro y decidiste cruzar, no sé cómo lo están evaluando aquí el gobierno, pues, pero siempre hay una manera de hacerlo correcto.
Where did you hear about the mandate?
¿Dónde escuchaste acerca de lo que dijo el último presidente?
Por las redes sociales, por mis amigos que habían entrado antes.
Yeah, from the social media, his friends who came in before.
So you've seen that before, and what, TikTok?
¿Por dónde? No,
el contacto más que todo.
¿Qué te han prohibido hasta ahora? ¿Solo comida y casa o qué más?
No, me han dado la oportunidad de agilizar mi estatus migratorio, dándome la oportunidad de darme la cita para meterme asilo. Me ofrecieron un seguro, con el pasar del tiempo me han ido ofreciendo para que me lleven mis socios, mi permiso de trabajo, toda una ayuda.
Are you hoping to get work authorization here or a work visa? What is your goal? Is it citizenship?
¿Estás tratando de agarrar una visa de trabajador? ¿Cuál es tu meta?
Mi meta es llegar a mi máximo potencial de grandeza, porque yo tengo una visión de montar un restaurante, una escuela, tal vez una cafetería, si Dios me lo permite. Y bueno, compartir un conocimiento que llevo, que es un arte por el café. Pues.
¿Has tenido alguna suerte de encontrar un trabajo mientras llegaste?
A veces sí, a veces no. Sin papel es muy difícil porque realmente te exigen el permiso de trabajo.
Have you felt like you've ever had people discriminate against you or look at you a certain way when they find that out?
¿Te has sentido discriminado?
Have they talked to you guys about what would happen if ICE did show up to the shelter?
¿Te han hablado a ti de qué pasaría si ICE llegaría al shelter?
Yo nada más escucho lo que se rumorea. Lo que dicen es que si llegan van a llegar solamente por las personas que están haciendo lo malo. Pues.
What happens if they decided to detain you? What would happen?
¿Qué pasaría si ellos vienen y deciden como detener a la gente, detenerte a ti?
Bueno, creo que no tendrían el permiso de entrar si no fue una orden judicial, ¿no? Y en caso de que entrara sería por una persona en específico que el juez le daría la orden.
Do you know that Mayor Eric Adams recently had charges dropped to him by the Department of Justice, and in exchange that he told city officials not to interfere with any ICE operations? Were you guys told about that?
Ustedes se enteraron que el Mayor Adams, el mayor de aquí, Eric Adams, le dieron papeles que si ICE viene que él no puede intervenir. ¿Le dijeron algo de eso o no?
No, they have not told you guys about that. So what's the longest you could stay in the shelter?
¿Cuánto es lo máximo que te puedes quedar adentro?
Ellos te dan un tiempo temporal.
¿Y te han dicho algo así como qué tiempo?
A veces me ponen 1 mes, 2 meses, ya cuando se me dice el tiempo yo aplico porque todavía estoy en mi proceso legal.
Also tienes que ir aplicando. Yes, sometimes they give him a month, 2 months, and then he has to keep applying.
Keep applying? Do you think that's like going to be able to be sustained, like just money-wise, just keeping people just constantly in the shelter kind
¿Tú
of?
crees que eso se puede sostener manteniendo a la gente ahí?
¿Cómo?
¿Que se puede contener eso sosteniendo a la gente ahí con tanta gente que hay?
Bueno, realmente no lo sé porque no manejo la administración.
¿Qué le dirías a la gente tú que dice que la gente igual que está aquí americana ahorita a veces no le dan esos beneficios? He preguntado así, como, ¿qué le dirías a la gente?
No sé porque no tenía conocimiento de eso, no sabía eso.
Yeah, he doesn't know because he doesn't have knowledge of any of that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So did they tell you any updates about anything going on in the world or with the shelter system, or is it just kind of...
¿Ellos te dicen algo sobre lo que está pasando en el mundo, noticias, o cómo te hablan allá?
Allá adentro no difunden muchas informaciones.
How do you feel about the recent deportation of certain people to Venezuela?
¿Cómo te sientes sobre la deportación de alguna gente a los países como Venezuela?
Like deals the Trump administration made with Maduro.
Peligroso.
What do you think the people who are going back going to do?
¿Qué crees que tú, la gente que le deportaron, les va a pasar o qué va a pasar allí?
No sé, probablemente los metan presos
Like,
o les hagan un seguimiento, no sé.
But then they probably send them to jail or, or they follow them, stuff like that.
If you could say one thing to President Trump and people who are worried about the presence of the shelter in the community, and people who feel like this should just be shut down, and anybody who wants to come here that they should be forced, what would you say to them?
Si tú le pudieras hablar a la gente como Trump o a la gente que quiere que el shelter no exista y ¿qué le dirías a ellos?
Todos somos uno.
Do you know what's going on with Eric Adams and the deal he's making with the federal government?
¿Tú sabes lo que está pasando con Eric Adams, que es el mayor, y con y un contrato que está haciendo con el gobierno federal? No, he doesn't.
So I just want to clarify. If ICE does come here, they say do not say anything. And
¿Te dijeron algo que haga si ICE viene acá? No.
Nada más nos leyeron nuestros derechos pues, como migrantes.
He said they didn't say anything. They just read the rights as immigrants.
Do you have an idea or timeline when you think you're going to be able to find different housing zones?
¿Tienes alguna idea o un plan de cuándo vas a poder encontrar una nueva casa?
Yo opino que cuando ya una vez que yo tenga mis papeles ya podría hacer un plan de un sistema, pues,
claro.
Puedo tener mis ahorros de trabajo y aplicando, porque lo principal es conseguir un trabajo.
Yeah, he said once he has his paperwork right, then he'll have a plan, because then the main thing is getting a job.
Got it. Are new people still being processed in the shelter right now?
¿Le están trayendo nueva gente al shelter?
Todo el mundo se parece.
They all look the same.
Yeah, they don't know. Okay, I understand. No worries. What's the biggest, like, is it mostly Latin or African migrants coming into the shelter?
¿Cómo está la cultura ahí? ¿Es más gente de Sudamérica? ¿De qué país están?
Creo que estamos repartidos por igual. Hay más que todo gente que proviene de África, gente que proviene de Haití, como de Venezuela. Latinos hay muchos. Pero es como te digo, pues creo que son muy personas por igual.
It's like they're all like similar. A lot of people from Africa, from Venezuela, like very mixed.
How did you get to the United States?
¿Cómo llegaste a los Estados Unidos?
Caminando.
Walking. So you went through the Tarin? Got through there. And did you meet at the southern border, like Texas or California?
Texas.
Texas. And then what happened once you got to Texas?
Me hicieron un proceso.
They processed him over there.
Un proceso, me tomaron los datos, yo me entregué.
Got it. And how did you get from Texas to New York?
¿Y cómo llegaste a Texas, Nueva York?
En un vuelo.
In a flight.
Flight? Do you know who paid for the ticket?
¿Y sabes quién pagó por el ticket? He paid.
You paid for it. Have you known anyone that's been deported or has had
¿Has conocido a alguien que ha sido deportado o tenido problemas? No.
2 days after this interview, the city announced it would be closing the Creedmoor Migrant Shelter, along with several others in the city. 1 month later, the shelter and its structures were entirely gone. All in all, during the 19 months when the shelter was in operation, there never was any reported incident between shelter residents and the students at the elementary school, or their families like many fear would happen when it first opened. In that same time, NYPD crime statistics show that in the 105th precinct, where the shelter was located, there was no significant increase in major crimes, and that petty larceny levels decreased in the following full year the shelter was in operation. However, many local civic associations did report an increase in car and package thefts in the local area during the shelter's tenure, though there are no publicly available statistics to verify this information. As for property values in the zip codes surrounding the shelter, after an initial slight decrease after its opening, home prices quickly rebounded and recovered entirely while the shelter was in full operation, and now current home values over the past 12 months have even increased at rates above the city's average. In the end, the city spent around $7.98 billion on migrant shelters and services over the past 3 years, with around $3.12 billion being covered by the state of New York. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is going full steam ahead with the largest deportation operation in American history, as the Department of Homeland Security claims that it has already deported more than 450,000 people so far this year, along with 1.1 million so-called self-deportations. Additionally, Immigration and Customs Enforcement now has a larger budget than every other federal law enforcement agency combined. So far, in the midst of this sweeping crackdown, hundreds of U.S. citizens have been detained by ICE for days and even weeks, with many reporting civil rights violations while in detention. On top of this, migrants' rights groups, activists, journalists, and politicians are raising alarms about systemic human rights abuses for those in detention, pointing to numerous reports documenting abuse, mistreatment, and the record number of deaths of people in ICE and Border Patrol custody in 2025. Considering these factors, along with a record number of people currently in ICE detention, this endeavor to deport as many non-citizen immigrants as possible, regardless of their legal status, will only intensify for the foreseeable future. The main message I hope people take away from watching this documentary is that while funding and resources in this world are finite, human empathy is not. I'm not denying there are legitimate criticisms about the financial stability of these shelters and the services they provided, the fairness of those services, or how the city's government dealt with this crisis. Nor am I pretending that most people would be okay with an all-male migrant shelter being located in their community so close to a grade school, but those concerns can't be an excuse for people to lose their humanity. The vast majority of these men, and most migrants in general, aren't cartel members, gang affiliates, terrorists, or politically motivated operatives trying to destroy America from the inside. They're desperate people trying to build better lives while navigating an immigration system that gets more broken and restrictive every single day. It truly haunts me that some of the Venezuelan men I interviewed for this documentary could have been one of the unfortunate ones to be sent to a dystopian labor camp and detention center in El Salvador, or been subjugated to other inhumane facilities after being labeled a gang member for something as arbitrary as federal agents' interpretation of a particular tattoo, or a clerical error that someone else was either too apathetic or spiteful to correct. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that I wish some Americans would be more merciful and sympathetic to some of the most vulnerable people in our global society that are just searching for a better life, especially when political leaders around this issue have committed far worse crimes, get so much more leniency and grace from this administration and countless others. When it's all said and done, we're all just humans trying to survive in a world that's getting harsher and more uncertain every single day. It's up to each of us to look beyond the headlines and rage bait in our feeds, to see people different from ourselves not as enemies, but as fellow human beings who we can have reasonable disagreements with that still deserve our dignity and respect. To not let the destructive flames of hate, ignorance, and division divide us further before it consumes us all.